think so, but you keep freezing.
It's all right. We're good now. I see you. You
Oh,
see
you
me.
see
We are
me?
live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Paranormal Road Trip.
Hey,
Well, she's a little
I'm
shy.
multitasking. I'm multitasking.
She's
I think
never
so, but you
she's
keep
never done this
freezing.
before.
It's all right.
Um,
We're good now.
yeah, I'm listening
I
to
see
us.
you. You see me? We are live.
We are live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome
All right, we're
to
looking good.
Paranormal Road Trip.
I'm going to turn us up. That's silly. All right, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our YouTube debut, though we do have some videos up there. So if you like us, which you will because we're fun, and you want to see some other things that we've done, go back and look at some of those videos. I know that we have one from our trip to Catalina, where we just had a blast and did a lot of investigating on the island that we were invited out to do. So that was an awesome 3 nights that we had done out there. I was actually going through our videos and realized, holy cow, we've been to some places the past year and a half.
No, we've done a lot, and I'm excited to be able to do more because like this is my jish. Okay.
This is your zhish. That is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Push your camera back a little bit.
Push it back.
Yep, there you go. You just look like you're like looking in your camera.
Now I'm losing stuff.
Now
Okay.
she's losing stuff. Well, you all, I am intuitive medium Jaime. We have LaShawn, the luminous mystic, who's also an intuitive medium. We have a lot more titles, but this is all about the paranormal side. We are professional paranormal investigators. We have been doing this for years, and we have really decided to put ourselves out there to help people who have paranormal activity, as well as to debunk some of the paranormal activity that's out there, to capture evidence of some of our favorite places that we've been to thus far and places that we're going to be going to. We want to have the experiences, and being on that side of psychic and intuitive and the mediumship skills, I think that that really does make us a dynamic duo when it comes down to investigating, because we can feel the energy around us, know what direction we should be facing our equipment or what rooms we should be going in, which allows us to capture, I believe, more evidence than a lot of shows that I have seen out there on TV. What do you think?
No, I totally agree with that. Not to knock nobody because I watch those shows, truth be told. But it amazes me that to be on the platform that they are, that we just don't see the evidence that we would like to see. And it's not just us, it's just people in general. I can't tell you how many conversations we've had with people in regards to it's always conversations. What do you think about this show? Do you think this is real? Do you think it's not real? Are they authentic? Are they not? So that's one of the things I love about us. But even on a local level, or paranormal group, um and for the type of events we do, we just have everything and then some, and so it's pretty awesome. I can't wait, man. I just can't wait.
We were just talking about like 4 shows we can knock out, right? Because this is YouTube, so we're going to be putting out shows on a regular basis. Last year we were at Marietta, we were at a cemetery, we were at a diner that was being sold that had been shut down. We had more activity through that
Yep.
than I had seen in a long time. Following that, we were at
Mm-hmm.
the Palomar Hotel for our first trip.
Yep.
It just continued
Yep.
to grow and get more and more wild, to the point where people wanted to come back each time to experience something different. We have never had that much equipment go off at one time on a consistent
No.
basis with the overnight.
Yep.
Then we had the Whaley House in San Diego that we've been to, that we got a group together to go do, which was freaking awesome. The amount of evidence that we were able to capture there as well. And, I grew up in San Diego. You've been here a long time. We've both been to the Whaley House countless times, caught different things each time, just as our
Yep.
individuals before we even met. And then to bring a group together and magnify that energy, freaking awesome. And then we have a historical house in Marietta that also has brought us some really unique evidence. And then to be able to tune into that energy, this is what I love the most, and get validation from the owners or the caretakers of those properties. Drop the freaking mic, right? It's not only are we
Yeah.
getting the K2s to go off or your SLS camera's got stick figures, but then when we're tuning in or we're working with a group and we say, tune in, what do you feel? What are you getting? And to get responses almost immediately of, yes, that's exactly who it was. That was their name. That's what they did. Or to turn the lights on and find pictures on the walls and be like, that's exactly what we just saw. That's what happened. It gives me chills now to that standpoint of we take this to another level that a lot of investigators don't do. And it's, again, we're not knocking other investigator groups. We know other investigative groups. They all have their unique attributes about them. You even work with another group.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I work with a paranormal group for March Air Force Base. So if you guys have never been there, that is definitely one that you want to go to. I love that group. They promote us. We promote them. There is a different type of experience, just for the simple fact because we actually take you on the airplanes that have been in war, and just different, places. In and out of the country. There's a lot of history there. So it's pretty awesome because we're able to share our techniques, things that we do here that they haven't done there, that we've talked about with them, and then things that they share with us. It's pretty awesome when you're in that type of uh group where we can talk, no competition, but we all have the same love for the paranormal.
And that competition
So
part,
yeah,
we growing. And the competition part is hard
we grow.
because egos will trump anything that you're bringing to the table when it comes down to anything in the paranormal, whether it be psychic work, mediumship
Yeah.
work, paranormal investigative work. And that, I think, is where you and I work very well together on multiple levels, not just in the paranormal field, but also the intuitive field,
Right.
the healing field, is that it's about the clients that we're working with and the
Hmm.
betterment of everyone in this process, including ourselves. And if we're not in a line
Yep.
with an idea or something, we talk it out, we figure it out,
Yep.
and then we come back to the table and we continue to move forward. And that's what
Yes.
makes us so unique as well, is the fact that it's table for two, right? It's us.
Hmm.
If we bring in some other people and we do events, then the dynamic does shift. And we
Yeah.
love our followers and the people that come to our events. But when we're by ourselves versus when we have a group, you have all other type of personalities. Spirit's drawn to different personalities. So they may find us boring, but hey, Mary's
Right.
in here, she's talking to us. They might be like, hey, Mary looks
Right.
awesome, I'm going over to her. And that just adds so much
Right.
more excitement when we're out doing these events and activities.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm hoping that one day, that should be a topic definitely that comes up, is when you do go investigate, and especially if it's the same place over and over again, it is good to have different energy in that space, because maybe they do get bored with us. I don't know. Maybe it's a pet peeve of spirit. I don't know what it is or why it is, but it's something that we also talk about at March Air Force Base, because sometimes we switch our roles around, to be able to get spirit to communicate. But truth be told, a lot of times it happens when there's new people in that mix, meaning the customers, the clients, whatever you want, starts to be more active. So it's pretty awesome.
It's
That's
all
what I feel,
awesome.
man.
Everything is
Yeah.
awesome. I love that movie. My son's
What is the
not
name
old
of
enough.
it?
It's the Lego movie. He gets up. Everything is awesome. By the way, you guys, you aren't going to find like people that are super serious. Honestly, when it comes down to the paranormal, the more lighthearted you are, the jokes that you make, the way that you interact with one another, that brings spirit in faster than if we were just sitting here talking about all of our experiences. Again, nothing wrong with that part of it, but at the same time, we want this to be fun. And I've always
Right.
held, and I know you do as well, that view of when this stops being fun and becomes work, I need to find something else to do.
Oh, I'm always in that mode, even with my regular jobs. I've been like that all my entire life. It doesn't make sense to me. That it just doesn't make sense to me. But this is a field. fortunately that we are in that is never going to be boring. And with the way that we deal with things with each other and our conversations and things, this shit is gonna it's gonna write. We got a long ass way to go.
We
Okay,
do. And
we're
we need
riding.
your guys'
It's
help.
gonna be
So please like, share, subscribe to Paranormal Road Trip. We are going to give you your money's worth when it comes down to investigating, humor, having a good time. If you know of places that we should be going, if you have connections, we are open. I don't care where you're sending
yeah.
us. Nothing is going to scare us because we know our power in this, right? And that's a big part
I
of this.
don't know about that one. I
Okay,
get scared every now and then. Like,
we're all aware of the Palomar Hotel the first time where you ran across the room, dove into our friend's bed, spooned her, and yet Spirit still followed you, lit all the cat balls up, and all I wanted to do was get some sleep. That's it. 3 a.m., just I'm a little sleepy. Let's experience it. But no, 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 no. So,
I mean, and that ain't the only thing neither, But here's that's the fun part about it
yeah,
all, and especially with hanging with us, doing these overnights and stuff. Anything goes. We so cool. We're relaxed, and we are just normal people. You guys are our guest investigators, and we literally have a good time. We've done investigations with our guests in our pajamas, and stuff. But being scared or being startled, okay, and what I like to say is normal.
I
Just saying.
like the startled word. It isn't that we're afraid. Now, people don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting over here sitting on my throne thinking that everything is roses and I'm never scared. There are things that give me the chills. There
Right.
are things that creep me the fuck out. Out. And yet I know my power. So there are times where I have to regain my composure, and then I have to take a couple of deep breaths and remember who I am and why I'm in that position. And that's been going on since childhood. So before we show some videos of things that have gone on in our own homes and just talk about, why we got into this, start it out. Why on earth did you decide one day to be a paranormal investigator, create a logo with a purple car and some ghosts in it, and two ladies from different mothers who are absolute sisters? Like, what? Why on earth would this be something? And was this something that you would have thought of years ago, right? Was this something that you would have done years ago? Like, I'm pretty sure that our plans of action years ago, when we're having kids, living life, doing the day jobs,
Yeah.
did not. And honestly, for me, the psychic and the mediumship part of it, that started growing 15 years ago. But I never expected to be where we're at now and the paranormal side. What about you?
Yeah, no, it wasn't a chance in hell, okay, for me because because I
Okay,
was
alrighty then.
scared. I was terrified. Like there was no way that I could ever see myself doing what I'm doing now and wanting to go to the most haunted places. Not only that, I've gotten to the point where there's sometimes I literally just take my bracelets off. I don't want nothing. I go in as what I consider raw for the most
Naked. She's
most
naked.
point. I, I am. I'm naked. I'm spiritually naked. Like, give it to me. You know what I'm saying? But coming from a place where my father was a pastor, okay, since he was 19 years old, and then not even knowing what the things that I was seeing, because I've been seeing spirits since I was little. But at my age, which I'm 50, I have no problems with saying that. Back then, we didn't have what we got now, right? And so once these TV shows and stuff started coming out, I started to learn a little bit more about what I was experiencing, and not necessarily how to deal with it, because I didn't know how to deal with it, but just knowing that the things that I was seeing was not me going freaking crazy. Okay. And yes, I was terrified. I was scared. I'm one of those that would go to sleep, come up, and I got bruises on me or marks on me, things like that. You know what I'm saying? And so, or hell, even really at the end of the day, experiencing stuff in our household that was weird that we just blew off. And, we'll get into that. But there are some things that I think about back now from back then that there's no way in hell any of that shit should have happened that happened. And so for me, my curiosity came where I was ready to step into this particular role was just a couple of years ago, because I kept seeing things, I kept experiencing things, I kept being curious about what it is, why it is. Okay, how do I connect? Then I'm seeing all these TV shows, and things like that. So for me, this was all about just finding out what is out there, what is true, what is not true, debunking things. That's why I became into it, just curious. And so now, like, I asked for it all. That's just the bottom line.
So she does, people. She really does. She asks for
I do.
anything and everything. Yep. And I'm over here like, just a couple hours of sleep. Just let me lift my leg up. We gotta rest that knee a little bit. Let me just, nope. Because she has asked everybody to come in. I do as well. I absolutely do as well. You know what's funny is I don't have any bracelets on except this lovely hair tie today. Yesterday when we taught our four
Me
week
neither.
dive into your intuition class, we both had bracelets on. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? That's actually kind of strange. Uh-huh. So we are teaching on the intuitive mediumship side of it, a 4-week free class, every Monday evening at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time through Zoom. And we had our bracelets on. We wanted to connect in high vibrational levels, connect with our folks that were joining us. And that's strange. Neither one of us have bracelets on. I like it. I would have worn that shirt, except I can't find it at the moment. So we have our own shirt. Turn around and show everybody. We even have shirts, people. Show them your back of our shirt. Like, our names are on them in case you forget who we are.
Look,
And then,
you
yep,
see it?
you are right in the frame. Ta-da! There we are, you guys. When you make sweatshirts and t-shirts, you are now bonded for life. I'm just saying it. You're bonded for life. So, with that being said, you weren't always a psychic, an intuitive, a medium, a Reiki master, a shaman. You were a mom, a hairdresser.
Mm-hmm.
What else have you
Yep.
been on the human side of it as well?
Yeah, all those things and then some. I'm an Aquarius. Okay. So to say the least, there's a lot of things that I just dibble and dabble in and then drop it. That's just what it is. So for me, yes, being a mom, being a nana now, and doing this has still been amazing because my kids experience things, they're intuitives, and the grandbabies are intuitive and stuff. So yeah, the I don't know.
But that's
I
the
don't even
part of
remember
it,
what the
though,
question was.
is you're human, right? So you went from
Totally
hairdresser,
human.
wife, mother, to all of a sudden having these things happen to you in your sleep and the astral travel that you would do in your sleep, becoming more aware of spirit around you. Now, if you guys are wondering how we met, well, LaShawn won the Miss America pageant. I mean, that's all there is to it. She just won the Miss America pageant. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know. I still, it's so ingrained in my mind. I was doing an event with another person that was working with at the time, and LaShawn and a group came to our event, and we were giving away prizes, readings, like one-on-one hour readings. We were doing a house clearing. I think there might have been something else in there. And LaShawn won the house clearing, and you would have thought in this skin-tight, white, sexy dress, where her husband's over here pulling it down so she just doesn't give everybody all the goods in the event that we were in, that she won Miss America. And I couldn't have been more happy that this woman was the one that won this house clearing. But that's how we got to connect in that space. And then we went to her house, which she currently lives in now, and we've got videos of activity that's been going on still. And we started this friendship. And then she came to a workshop. I have the video. I can't wait. I'm going to post that on our next one, of you like doing the class with the
Yeah,
crystals.
what video?
Well, not of you taking your pants down in my kitchen.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. I was about to say.
That I would need your consent to sign for in a workshop setting. We were hosting a crystal grid workshop. She came with a friend of hers, which was someone that we were working with, and towards the end, she walked into the kitchen. She literally unhooked her overalls, pulled down her pants, and said, "What do you think of this?" That's really how this started, folks. This friendship, this relationship, this partnership. I told her, "You're astral traveling." She's a natural healer. The more that you learn about your family history with the Native American ties to it as well. I want to talk about that in just a second. This all made so much more sense years later, but you learned how to protect yourself. And pretty much she told us that she's never leaving, that she just wanted to kind of hang out with us and learn and grow.
Yep.
And now she has this phenomenal business. So speaking of culture for you, you are many cultures combined into one, just as all of us are, right? But not all your cultures see this. You actually have the duality of a culture that doesn't necessarily think this is a positive thing to get into. And then you have a culture where all they embody is the healing aspect of it and the connection aspect of it and the spirit aspect of it. So through the course of your life, you grew up with a father who was a pastor. You didn't have a lot of support growing up in the first place. Not to mention, you didn't learn until about your Native American heritage until a few years ago.
Yeah. Well, I knew about it. It's just that they didn't know it was which tribe. So I did research on it, through ancestry.com and everything. So I got us to the right tribe that my great grandfather was in. But I don't know if you knew this, Jamie, but my grandmother, my mother's mother, family is actually Mexican. So my grandparents, my great grandparents, are immigrants of Mexico. I have their paperwork where they had to come over. So now, I was just like, after learning a lot about Santeria with Ashley and stuff like that, now I feel like there's probably even more that I need to discover. So, and this is my tight family. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not way down the line type of situations on either side. Not the Native American side, not the Mexican side, or the black side. It's crazy.
And folks, I couldn't get any more Caucasian than what you see right here. I mean, that's just where it's at. I did Ancestry.com. I am quite the light-skinned individual. And I think that people sometimes look at us in that standpoint of how close we are and the fact that we're doing this type of work in that space as well. Because we've had those conversations where it comes down to race. We've come down to woman empowerment. We've come down to woman business owners, right? Over all of these years. And at the end of the day, we just fucking do us. It's not that none of that matters. We just include everybody that wants to be part of what we're doing. It is an all-inclusive space for us. And at the same time, your gifts vary from my gifts. And what can't be like altered is the equipment that we have. So I'm going to put up a video in just a second that shows you a few of the things that we have, and then LaShawn can talk quickly about the equipment that we have, because if you're into the paranormal and you're watching this, you know what most of this equipment is. So we want you to know, like, we're just not over here with some small equipment and, we're having a good time. Like, we are professional paranormal investigators. Now, for me, I was 4 or 5 when energy started coming in. And I was never validated through my parents until I was 40 from my dad. But that's okay, because as much as I wanted to sage his eyeballs out while I was saging his house at 40, I realized that this had to be my own journey. Oh, John, my dad wears glasses. His name's John, everybody knows. He's a black coffee drinker and a newspaper reader. And so at 40, I was over there saging his house, and he's like, "What is this mumbo jumbo?" Okay. So I'm saging. I go, Dad, the energy in here sucks. We just got to clear this out. Yeah. Uh huh. And a few years before, we had stayed there in between buying houses, and I had seen a Native American lady standing in the living room. And it wasn't that energy that I felt was negative. It was just heavy. Like, my parents are my parents. So I got a Scorpio and a Pisces. My mom's a Scorpio, my dad's a Pisces. You all do the math. And when it comes down to relationships, we all love each other very much. But we needed to clear out the energy. And that's when he looked at me and said, well, you know, both your grandmothers are psychics. I'm so sorry. What? And I'm holding the sage next to his head. I mean, that man was lucky he was wearing glasses, because I was always dismissed, but I could never get away from the paranormal side of it. And then when I asked him about the lady in the house, he described exactly what I saw, and my brother, I thought, was going to fall off his chair in the family room. Like, I knew somebody was here. I could feel it. I couldn't see him, but I could feel it. And so growing up that entire time, I had to figure out what was my imagination, what was real, what spirits were coming in, why were they coming in. And being into that space at such an early age, like we hear all the time where kids turn off the gift. Not all, but most. Well, age 5, 6, they get into kindergarten, they start doing life, they start losing that sense of that gift. Well, I did not. So I started taking classes in my 20s to understand how the heck all of this works and why am I right? Why am I giving readings in my teens? Why am I giving readings in my early 20s to bartenders and servers? Okay, I was early 20s, you know, it just stuff would come out. I learned about free will quickly after that, and that stopped without asking. But at the same time, I wanted to know how it worked. And I think that's the best part about us, is we want to know how all of this works. I want the scientific side of it to back up the metaphysical side of it, which is why we have all of this as equipment, which is why we use our intuition and we use those skills to continue building upon it. My kids, as LaShawn's kids and granddaughter especially, well, one granddaughter, she's got, you know, I know people, she doesn't look like she's old enough to have grandkids, but each one of my kids have different gifts. And I had to really work through that with them as I was learning how my gifts work and how to empower kids, which is a big thing that LaShawn and I are all about, is to be able to empower kids, especially when we're going to homes that have activity. And the kids are the ones that are feeling it and seeing it more, and the parents are feeling in a space of kind of hopelessness in the moment because they're not able to see or interact like that. And with that, it's one of those things of education, empowerment, bring the equipment, bring our intuitive gifts, and put everything together. And then energy fascinated me to the point where I finally ended up deciding that I wanted to do Reiki. And I wanted to understand how the energy component worked. And then I became a Reiki master. And then in 2020, I knew we needed healers because my spirit team said we need healers. And who doesn't listen to their spirit team when they're just constantly in your ears? So that's when I started teaching the Reiki component of it. And we started learning about that. And I think that when we add all of the things that we do to this, as well as the equipment, I mean, I was taking equipment out for fun during readings with people and saying, let's just see what happens. And LaShawn and I do that now, whether it's group readings or just bringing equipment to restaurants. I know we are those people where we're like, oh, here's a K2 and a REM pod, sitting it at the dinner table.
Yeah. Yep.
We still got activity, and the best part was at Hunter Steakhouse, we also had the waitress who was validating the information that we were getting off of our equipment and our intuition. We are doing this all the time, anytime we can do it, but it's being validated on multiple levels. Does everybody believe? No. Is that okay? Absolutely. Does everybody believe in Christianity, in all of the different religions? No. Are some people believers of God? Yes. Are some? No. Are some believers in source? Yes. Do some only believe in angels? It doesn't matter, because who we're going to be helping are people that just need help. Like, we have 2 investigations that we're doing in 2 weeks. One of it's going to be for a home, and the other one is going to be for an object. I can't wait to be able to go out at 2 different places and be able to help those people that own the object and the people that own the home, and be able to give them a sense of peace of mind, and then at the same time be able to help clear that energy and give some peace to that spirit that's residing in that space or that's still holding on to that object. Now, again, we're not over here crossing people over into the light. they've left the physical body. We're literally helping move that energy up and to be able to see those energies around them that love them from the other side and their spirit teams and angels. But it's taken years of work individually and together professionally to get where we're at.
No, I agree. Yeah, 1,000 times. And it's constant work every day. So I'm excited. I don't even know what else to
So
say
check out
about
this
it. I'm
quick
sitting up here
video.
looking up.
I know, she's over here like sipping her straw on that cup. So here's a quick video, just little things that you can see. Some of it's LaShawn and I having a good time. Other parts of it are equipment that we have that we were using at a location. LaShawn, I think you're going to have to watch it on your phone if you have YouTube up, because I don't think you're going to see the video if you're not watching it on YouTube. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean?
I'm on YouTube.
Okay, let's
Yep,
hit play.
got it. Oh, I just.
Okay. We had a ton of equipment in that very short video. Did you see the video? Remember, we're on a delay, so we might have to hold on for just a moment. Oh, there's the video right now. It's coming up on YouTube.
It's just now coming up.
Yep. So, as we're talking about it, you've got your SLS camera. What else do you have in that video?
Yeah, we got the SL. Actually, we have two SLS cameras that do two different things for the most part. And we'll have a show on that specifically. But we also have the Ovilus with the wordings, the words that come across. There's drawings that come across that. There's a lot that comes on that. The different K2 meters. So we have K2 meters that are outside of the ones that you typically see. So we're really into the equipment heavily and trying different things out. Of course, we have the REM pod, which is heat detective, EMF detective, touch detective. We have the tracer, which is the spirit is walking along that path. It lights up. Gosh, what don't we have? Cat balls. Oh,
Cat balls.
Because
we really like cat balls. We use cat balls in our homes. We take cat balls wherever we go. We just try not to trip over the cat balls. But they are one of the best pieces of equipment for low cost that we can use, which is also something we're going to talk about on week 4 of our Dive Into Your Intuition series for free, is equipment that you can purchase for a reasonable price to be able to validate the experiences that you're having in your space. And then you give us a call to come out, bring out the big equipment, and help you kind of take back and regain empowerment in your space.
Yes. And then, of course, we have the infrared cameras, which is really fun as well. We have Boo Buddy, my friend. Okay. the bear of investigation.
Nope. The music box, the spirit box, the Ovilus.
Spirit box. Yep. What else do we got? The music box. Oh, the GS2.
Yep.
We have that. We have gosh, I think that's pretty much almost everything. Of course, SB box, which is a spirit box, but I also have something new that we're going to be trying on this next investigation, which I'm uber excited about, to help with the radio interference with that. So I'm excited about that, and we're always looking for the next new thing. So, and I do have one more piece of equipment that I got my eyeballs on. So we'll see what happens with that. You might want to set this aside. So, yeah.
So we need to go to more locations. I can't wait
till we get and do a show about it.
Oh yeah, no, we'll do a full-on show. We'll do that when we're together so that we can have all that stuff set up and the bigger screen. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'm going to be clicking on a video that has to do with a wind chime. Okay, so each of us have experiences in our home. LaShawn has a tendency to record this stuff much faster in her own home than I do. But let's talk about this. So I'm pulling up this video here. Beautiful, beautiful of us. Here we go. All right, so LaShawn, it's just me. We all don't need to see me on here. It's fine. So I want you guys to look at how the wind chime is moving, and LaShawn's going to talk about this experience. I like that. So she's got this beautiful wind chime. It's obviously in a bedroom, and it's moving all by itself. So
now that bedroom is my positivity room, so no one stays in there except for when I have out of towners and baby is in there. So we all know that when baby comes, things pop off like 1,000 times more than what it normally does. So I always have looked at that wind chime, which is what you gave me as a gift, and I knew that it moved. I could never catch it though, but it was just something deep in my soul that told me that this is what happens. And I was just so happy to be sitting on the bed and caught it this time, and I was so excited that it was just unreal. That was insane. That was an aha moment for me because I knew intuitively that thing moves by itself. I just wasn't sure, and I had never caught it. So
the next video is going to be an orb that's coming at us. So it's that first video that you sent me out of the 4.
Okay.
Now this room, we have 3 separate videos. The first one is the orb that comes straight at us. So you'll be able to see that. And then it looks like the second video's got like snow orbs. And then the third video is a special one. So I'm going to play the orb video. And then I want you to talk about why that one is different. How do you feel about orbs? Is it just dust? Is it just a moth? Tracking orbs? Because that particular room, I think, is a portal in and of itself, as well as your landing. Like, watching those videos again today, I was like, fuck, that whole section's just, and they only track in one direction.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've even questioned it myself. Like, what is it about this area? Where are they going to? I will sit in my bed and literally watch them on camera to see what is happening. They have set off the alarms, not just in that particular room because I have a camera specifically for this reason, but also my alarm to my house. They have set them off. So I can't see the video, but nevertheless, those videos, I do a lot of experimenting, and I you got a whole lot of different stuff that people say that they are, but when you really look at these true videos, you would know that there's no way that any of that stuff is dust or bugs, okay? Because bugs and stuff don't
Look at the
go,
video right now.
blinking and
So
things
look
like
over
that.
here.
But
Look at your video on
you
YouTube.
said what?
Look at your video on YouTube.
Okay. Oh, hold on. It's not playing. Oh Lord. I hope nobody heard that. Okay. Can you hear her?
Yep. So I'm going to play the next video while you go take care of that for 30 seconds. Yep. This is life, you all. This is where we're at. This is life in general. So as she was talking about saging and clearing out this room, I don't think you heard it as that video was up. We'll talk again about how we can clear these things out in different ways. Let's watch another video with the orbs coming through, and I want you to pay attention to how it looks like it's snowing. So if you see this and you're tracking them, it's actually amazing to watch them just flow through. Now, you could say that maybe there's an air conditioning vent and it's blowing cool air in through this way, except the air conditioning vent would have to only be blowing in this particular section.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, look.
Crazy about how those
And
orbs,
they're
and
all
that's
going in. If you look at it and if you look in the background, you can see that they're going at different rates. Some are going up, some are going. It's crazy. I'm looking at this one and how it's slowly moving past the wind chime. Okay, did you guys catch the one where the figure? Because that just went past too, where it looked like a head and a shoulder. Like, what are you? What? What can you say about that?
let me play that one more time. And the
Yeah.
head and shoulder figure, where in that 30-second clip about should they be looking? In the middle of it, in the beginning of it?
Oh shoot, I don't remember. Probably about mid. But I really want y'all to like they are. Like there's a lot to that.
Well, that's the thing that people try and dismiss with orbs is that what we don't see is we don't see fluttering, so we don't see wings.
Right.
We don't see them all
Okay,
going
there it is.
like the air conditioning.
So we have okay, so that video, the last one is the one where it actually shows that figure. But in that video, which I didn't notice until today when I sent it to, that there was something else that was very definite that was going at an angle that you can see that was kind of further back. And that was the first time that I actually caught that today. So
Okay, let me play this last
I don't know.
one, and then as I play the last one, they won't hear us. So when we watch it, you can tell us, is this the one with your... Okay, so perfect. I'm playing the last one, and then we'll watch it, and you tell me if that's the one. But they aren't going to be able to hear you. So we're playing it now. It's on now. Up here. So coming up now is going to be the video of the person. Okay, hold on here. Do, 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 do. Hey, you guys always sing when I'm like thinking.
Is it playing?
It will in just a second. Remember, we have a 30-second delay.
Oh, oh, it's 30 seconds. Okay.
There we go. So it's playing now. I'll disappear.
Okay. So in that one, there was one that went at an angle down towards the bottom of the bed. So this is the
Right.
first video. But there was a very definite part that I didn't see until today when I sent it to you. And look at this orb, this really light one that goes down. It's on the side of the bed. And then it's,
Mm-hmm.
wow. That one has so much going on too.
all of them have different things. And so when we think about activity in our homes, you've got this room, which has always been active. Now, when your granddaughter stayed with you last time, talk about the experience that you witnessed on video from the cam that was in there. Yeah.
Yeah, she was actually younger at this point, and I was watching her on video. I could see the orbs, but then first off, let me set this up for you as to what happened that before she went to bed. So I would always clear the room out, meaning I asked the spirit not to show themselves to her, not to touch her or any of that stuff. But I always invite my son, my deceased son, to come in and watch over her, and my grandmother, okay, and anyone that was of love and light can stay, right? So she goes in there, she's in bed. You see an orb, and then you hear her, and I can see her. She raises her hand and she says, "Hey," she's waving. So she's looking up and she's waving. But then in the video, you can hear her talking, but then you hear a male's voice. Okay. And I don't have that video. You got a chance to see it because this was new. The camera was new at that point in time, so I wasn't sure how to save it or anything. But not only that, there was movement of her blanket that we saw, there was no way that it was her. You could see where she was, where the placement was. You could see the blanket being lifted and shifted. It was insane. So this kid is very intuitive,
Mm-hmm.
and she has been and can see things. Even up until recently, we were in the loft, and she looks at me and she says, "Nana, I see someone." I said, "Well, describe them to me." And this is in the hallway. The walkway going up the stairs and stuff, which is another hot spot. And she says, it's a rainbow. It's a rainbow man. He's rainbow. He's a lot of colors. And I looked and I'm like, yeah, it is. Because I can see him too, right? So the only difference was our description of the face was different, but the body was the same. And so I actually looked it up because I wanted to know. And this is what I teach people too, is when you have these kind of experiences, and if you're not sure what is going on, look it up just to kind of see how it literally connects to what it is that you're experiencing. And what I found out was dealing with the rainbow man, because I felt like it was a man. She said it was a man as well. It's connection to the divine and spiritual enlightenment, or the presence of a higher vibrational energy. Like what? Insane. I'm just saying, but that's just one of many things that has happened. A couple of many things that has happened in my house. So to be honest with you, the equipment and stuff, I don't play with it in my house very often. I just don't.
Sometimes we don't need to know everything, especially when our homes are supposed to be our sanctuaries. So we put the stuff
Right.
out every so often. We'll test the waters. It didn't dawn on me until about house 3 that I had bought as a grown up. I mean, my poor daughter moved 14 times in the first 16 years of her life, and we're not military. We literally just moved. It was very gypsy like at the time. But every time we would get into a home, it would be about 6 months would go by, and then activity would start. And
Yeah.
then as the kids got older and their gifts started to expand, then all of a sudden it'd be like 3 months, and the gifts would. What you got going on there? It's a bug. It's a bug. This is her bug face. It's fun to go investigating with LaShawn during the day or night outside, because when it comes down to bugs,
No, it's
it's
not a bug. I think it's a spider web, but I don't know where it came from just that quick, because this computer just came from upstairs, but it literally just disappeared. I think it was a spider web.
okay. So they will find us. We
I
have a
got
lot of clients. She's fine. She's got a bug. She's all right. If I could pull up the mute button, we could just let her have it for a minute, and you guys could just watch. We'll all just watch. But you will talk to families or even people throughout their lifetimes where spirit has followed them from place to place. And this rings true excuse me, for my family, because from the time my oldest one was little, her sister was 2.5 years younger. We lived in one of the most nastiest places energetically I've ever lived in. That was in Ramona, California. Ramona's lovely, by the way. But to the point where my mentor, that I was learning how to understand my gifts and how to reach more people and how to bring through meaningful messages. When I asked her about my home, she told me to salt the perimeter or move and do a whole blessing ceremony and stuff. I've had, which is interesting that I'm coughing right now. You've got this weird spider thing, and I have my cough, which means that there's something not so good in the space right now, which you'd think that we talk about how we have our equipment all the time, and neither one of us have a piece of equipment out right now. It's fine. I've had voices in hallways, pictures that the kids had like painted as a fun activity day. I hung them up in the hallway of an apartment we were living in, being torn down in the middle of the night. Pictures taken off the walls and put on the sides of my bed in a different home. This particular home that we're in now, we are just a couple miles from the San Pasqual battlefields. So when we first moved in, there was a lot of activity to the point where people were seeing soldiers walking through the home, and we didn't know that we were only 2 miles from the San Pasqual battlefields. I just had knee replacement surgery, and so we can both attest that when you're not feeling well, you've had surgeries, that we are more in an energetic weakened state. So we have to keep our boundaries really solid before going into surgery, really keep our locations clear. But my son had made breakfast. He's such a good guy. And took it back for me into the back half of the house. And he got his breakfast, had his bowl and his drink, and he was heading into his room, which is right off the kitchen. And he came in with this like stark look on his face, and he goes, well, the house is definitely haunted, which we knew because he hears things in the ceiling and hears things in the house. And I said, why is that? And he goes, because there's a broom standing up in front of my door. And I had to get up, like day 3 of knee surgery, walking around the house. And I keep hearing, like, what is it? People are asking me in the house. But okay, first of all, I'm not tuned in. It's day 3 of a major surgery. But at the same time, the broom was in one side of the house and ended up in front of his door. And so people can dismiss that just like they can the orbs. Well, maybe, and I even asked him, maybe you were sweeping your room and just sat the broom outside of your door by the hall closet, and you just bumped it. And brooms can stand up by themselves depending on the shape of the broom, how the broom pieces are like sticking out. Like if you have a used broom, you can usually stand it up anywhere. But the thing is that when family member came up from downstairs and started talking to the broom started swaying back and forth. And when you go to push the broom, there was this very strange magnetic pull to this broom. It wouldn't just tip over. And when spirit sometimes knows that we're not feeling well and all of our defenses may not be up, they're going to come in and make themselves known. It didn't feel frightening. It was a little freaking strange. Like, I go take a picture of it and send it to me. And then when I saw it standing there, I'm like, had him retrace his steps, asked him multiple days in a row to see if his story would change. He's a teenager. His story never changed from the exact thing that he told me. If you ask kids things after a few days, sometimes their stories change because of their imaginations, right? So for us, it's all about what we're doing in our own homes and how we're clearing it. We've been extremely active again since the surgery. And I'm constantly clearing the house and constantly in that space of taking back my space. And at the same time, we do this as empowered individuals, which is why when we do investigations or people call us out, it's donation based. And I love that fact about you and I, is that they could hand us a basket of oranges, they could hand us a loaf of banana bread, gas money to get to where they're going. We're not making money off of this, you guys. We're there to be able to help people, but it's a reciprocation of energy in that space. When I can see a little kid smiling and playing with the equipment and understanding that they're empowered and that nothing can hurt them as long as they're staying in that space, and that the parents feel like they're being validated by their own experiences, or the single person that's been living alone thinking that they're going crazy. And in reality, it's actually spirit coming in. And for us to be able to help those people is why we do this. is for me the number one reason why. And then to be able to go out and research these places that we've been watching on TV for 20, 30 years now, and understanding that the majority of it on TV is very convoluted. And because we understand the spirit side of it, and to be able to bring that clarity to people and have such fabulous people that support us and join us on these events is an absolute blessing every single time. And I think that when we work in a space of gratitude, which we do, that carries us through, and that we are acknowledged by the heavens above, whatever our belief systems are individually, and that we continue to be able to help people is our purpose of Paranormal Road Trip.
Yep.
So to
Absolutely.
finish off
Hands down.
our first live Paranormal Road Trip show, LaShawn, the Luminous Mystic, how can people find you, right? Because you have your own business as well. And then what would be something that, I'm going to put you on the spot, what would be something that you would offer as a piece of insight, not advice, because I think advice is just telling people what to do, but insight if they have activity in their space?
First off, you can find me at Luminous Path with Love on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and luminouspathwithlove.com, and you can see everything that I do on there. And then of course, we're on Paranormal Road Trip on TikTok. I think it's Paranormal Road Trip 2, right? On TikTok, and then Paranormal Road Trip on Facebook and then Instagram. But if you have activity in your home, what kind of insight do I give them? Is, I don't know. That's a tough one, because my first thing is I want to say, like, just, try not to be too alarmed or too scared. But I know that's kind of hard. But what I guess what I would say is just know that you have some control over the spirits that are around you. Okay. So with that being said, you can ask them to leave, and just do that. I guess it's the start off, but be firm about it. But yet do it out of a place of love, meaning, yes, you're not, please leave, ask for their higher ups to come and get them. There's a multitude of ways to get that to happen. But I would say the first thing would be to let them know that they need to leave your space. And then you can do all the smudging and stuff, the normal stuff. No, you cannot.
This is called real life, folks. Real life. We are multitasking, which we're going to talk about all these type of things, clearing homes, different ways that we clear our own spaces. Like, these are all going to be in future episodes. For me, you guys, you can find me at Shades of Spirit LLC on Facebook and Instagram. I think it's just Shades of Spirit on TikTok. I don't do a lot on TikTok. And then we have YouTube channels as well, but I just want you guys to focus on these because we're so cool. If you are interested in any paranormal type energy work or paranormal investigative places that we can go to, or if you're having activity in your own home, you can email us at LaShawn. What is our email address? Do you remember?
Email us at, Paranormal Road Trip. Let me hold on.
I'll include that.
At gmail.com. Paranormal Road Trip 2, the number 2.com.
At Gmail. Got it. So, and I'll have the website. I'm working on the website. I actually have got pictures. I'm really starting to put that together. I'll put all of our information on, because, boy, that would have made sense earlier today, on how you can contact us or just message us through YouTube as well. We are here for it. We love the paranormal. It's all about empowering those in that space. And also, it's about growth and learning for us. And at the end of the day, we are funny. We have a good time. We just love hanging out with one another. And we're going to continue doing this until, I don't know, we're going to have our little walkers. All right, LaShawn, did you get the backpack with our K2s? Right, I mean, this is something we're always going to be doing because it's in our blood, it's in our hearts,
Yeah.
it's literally in our ancestral DNA on both sides of being able to connect people with the spirit world. And with that, we want to bring you something that's a little bit different, that is multidimensional, multifaceted, and the fact that we are able to do multiple things and bring in the paranormal part of it makes us a little bit different than, I'm not saying all groups, because there are groups like us. There are groups that have mediums or psychics that come in, but we do it all, and we do it all ourselves. And we're not always great at it. I mean, let's be honest, we're not the techiest people on the face of the earth. We figure it out. And if it's not perfect, it ain't perfect, because the world isn't perfect, folks. So thank you so much for tuning into Paranormal Road Trip. Find us on social media. We're going to be hitting it hot and heavy out there, if you know what I mean. As time goes on, we're looking at doing these shows at least twice a month. Depends on how many we can get recorded at one time. And hopefully be able to transfer these into podcasts as well. But let's all be honest, you've got an hour to spend to be able to watch how freaking funny we are and awesome we are. So there we are. I'm allowed to toot my own horn, folks. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope to see you again next time. And LaShawn, what is your final word? How do you close every show?
Yeah, that's it. Love, light, peace, and happiness.
There you go. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us.